Hi there, Midland, Texas. Buddy Webb. I'm going to do a video today that I'm going to call Mayor of Midland. And some people might not understand that Midland, it's a small town right here next to Odessa, Texas. It's sitting on one of the largest oil fields in the world, so it's extremely wealthy. And it's the home of two presidents, okay? And of course, both George Bush. And so just so you have an idea, the Bushes don't live here anymore. But the question has been asked if George Bush knows anything about the $1 million underground facility that multiple people have said was here, and where it's believed that young girl was murdered at a 2010 oil show party, okay? And because they're oil men, okay? And so here, one thing, when I was shot on January 28, 2012, the mayor of Midland was a guy named Wes Perry. And you can see that Wes Perry, this article here is dated November 2010. Okay, and in November 2010, the Cheney Oil Company chairman in Midland, Texas was Mayor Wes Perry. Okay, his partners of the mayor of Midland at the time when I was shot, Wes Perry's partners were Lord Jacob Rotschild and Rupert Murdoch. Okay, they're, of course, the Rothschilds are probably the wealthiest family in the world. And Murdoch's a billionaire that owns News Corp. but even the other board members here, and I'm gonna get into them in a minute, but all the names, I have another Facebook post that lists them all out there. But I'm just going to show you that who the mayor of Midland was, and see here in Midland, the according to the org chart, the police department reports to the mayor and city council. So, and then, it took 6 years to figure out the secret police were actually police, and then some of them were Midland police, so they reported to the mayor and city council. Okay, so here's another article from Business Wire about the same company, Cheney. And what we're going to look at is the other board members of the mayor of when I was ambushed and shot in my home, shot and left for dead inside my own home. Remember, 2 weeks after reporting the suspected tunnel to DEA, somebody under my home shoots me, cuts my phone lines and shoots me. Okay, so we have Alan Burnham, CTO, American Shell, Dick Cheney, the 46th Vice President of the United States. He was a partner with the mayor of Midland when I was ambushed and shot. The question's been asked if Dick Cheney knows about the premeditated capital murder attempt in my life. Alan Sess, a PhD, former president of Occidental. Okay, this is on the board of Cheney. Michael Steinhardt, project manager, Steinhardt Management. Eugene Renna, former executive vice president of Exxon Mobil. Okay, and Stephen Truber, vice president and global head energy banking investment banking group. Harold Vinegar, PhD, former chief scientist, Royal Dutch Shell. Okay, and one thing, so this young girl gets murdered at an oil show party in 2010 for refusing to prostitute. And well, it makes sense. This is an international oil show convention, brings in tens of thousands of people in town. And of course, Exxon Mobil had a booth there. My company, which was DCP or Duke ConocoPhillips, we had a booth, and actually even a director for my company that ran the oil booth used to live across the street from my house, Ken Slager. And so Phillips was there, of course, and then you see these other companies. Here, Dick Cheney was with Halliburton, and you could expect Halliburton to be in an oil show, and these other oil companies, Occidental, etc. Okay, so the question is, if any of these people know about, it makes sense that they would know. I mean, they're the head of, major oil companies. They would know about oil show parties, and they know about that young girl being murdered. And it would probably drop their stock if the public found out what happened. And so the question's been asked if any of them had been involved in the cover-up, okay, to obstruct justice. Okay, moving on. On Facebook, there's a people you may know a list that pops up, on a regular basis. You can go find it. And what I noticed was part of the Facebook algorithms is people that are looking at your profile show up in here. Because sometimes it's people that have 50, mutual friends, and sometimes it's people that you don't have one mutual friend with. Well, the only thing that explains that is that person is looking at your Facebook, and that's how they showed up. But you might know this person. He's looking at your Facebook. Facebook. Well, one of the people that showed up in my People You May Know list on Facebook was David Rotschild. That seems pretty interesting because he's related to Lord Jacob Rotschild, and I'm going to show you that here in a minute. And so, I even wondered, what was he here? I was told a lot of these people are more powerful than you can imagine, and so here's a Rothschild that's in my People You May Know list, and there's other connections to this $1 million underground facility. So, it's either he was here or he was not, or he knows about oil show parties or he don't, right? And so I'm going to move into the main part of the story that all started that, because it's Mayor of Midland. In 2013, one of the city council members, Jerry Morales, was elected mayor because Wes Perry stepped down. This was after I had crawled out and survived the premeditated murder attempt. And then possibly maybe that's why Wes Perry stepped down. So Morales, he runs for election. He gets arrested. Days after he gets elected, the police come in and arrest his son, okay, and Chase. And he hadn't even taken office yet. Days after he gets elected, his son gets arrested on a drug possession charge. And the question has even been asked if this was part of to blackmail him. You know what I mean? That there was an under the table deal or something. And I think I even wrote that here. And some people have wondered if there was an under-the-table deal where the mayor's son wouldn't be sent to prison for a long sentence like everybody else would, if he would help protect the underground facility from being exposed where the young girl was murdered at during the 2010 oil show party, along with the suspected murder of the previous homeowner, Mike Lawon, and the premeditated murder attempt on my life, and the doctors who were faking x-rays and then dismembering crime victims. So there's triple proof of that. So anyway, this is a news story. You can go look. It's in 2013. And that just starts it off, okay? Well, in 2015, the mayor's son is arrested again for drugs, okay? And you can go look this one up. And they show it here. For the other two charges, court documents indicate one was non-custody arrest and the other was dismissed, And I know other people in town that don't believe that would happen if it was them. And then that was, only happened because he was the mayor's son. And wondered if there wasn't, some kind of, promise that, hey, you look the other way and keep this underground facility secret and this murder secret. And then your son won't be sent to prison, for 20, 30 years. Okay. Well, a lot of this, the reason I thought about this morning, because I woke up and I saw a Facebook message from this guy, and that says this: the mayor's son is a coke and pill popper hanging out with a young prostitute named Jana. I blocked out the last name. He is helping recruit underage boys and girls to prostitute and run away. I've never heard that before, And so then, that's when I remembered, well, Chase was arrested right after Morales was elected as mayor. And I wondered if the crime ring could blackmail the mayor to help cover up the crimes here, or they would send him to prison. That's what I wrote back, this morning, 6:49 a.m. when I heard this story. And there was even more about it. And then this Gilbert here, he says, why is my nephew being offered 7 years in prison, but the mayor's son gets 30 days rehab paid for by the city of Midland, And he seems upset. And I said, it's a double standard, I said, but maybe the mayor was promised something in return. According to the org chart, the Midland Police Department reports to the mayor and city council, which includes most of the secret police that were caught on camera covering up the home invasion, capital murder attempt on my life. And then I put a link to a video on my YouTube called Murder Attempt Timeline. And that's time-stamped evidence. This happened at this minute. This happened at this minute. This happened this minute. Brandon Reed, he put his own little spin on it. And, it's for-profit prisons, etc. Okay, so moving on. I sent my first email to Morales was in November 2012, less than a year after the murder attempt. And he was still a city councilman at the time. I called it, Did I Wake Up in China? It was right after this email when I saw on TV that the police were looking for Eric Perez on capital attempted murder charges. That is a story in itself, even with recent proofs of a cover-up. And so I put this up, just a screenshot of the email. Did I wake up in China? And then there's the date, of course, and you need to go to my Facebook under Buddy Wayne Webb to read this. And here I laid this out. This is less than a year after I survived a premeditated capital murder attempt in my home, And as you can see, it went to a whole bunch of people. It went to the city council, mayor, press, and I put a lot of people on that email, and this was the first one. And then the video that I was talking about, I'm going to click it up real quick. And here it is. Wanted for capital attempted murder. Right after I sent that email, the news started reporting that they're looking for Eric Perez for capital attempted murder. And then he shot it as sheriff deputies over in Martin County, and they missed him like 3 times. And then he finally got arrested, and then they just arrest him and then they just charge him with evading, slap him on the hand, and I don't even know if he did 6 months in jail. It was really bizarre. And so here just recently, you ought to watch this video. It's on my YouTube channel right here. That I went to News West 9 and because these stories were coming from News West 9 and I noticed some of them were deleted, and so I talked to this representative, and within the week about a half dozen more stories were deleted from News West 9, and I show proof in this video that the press is deleting stories after I told them I was investigating this in relation to the premeditated capital murder attempt on my life, and that's interesting. That's the side stories there. The next email here, the next Facebook post. In October 2014, I sent Mayor Morales and other members of the city council pictures of the secret police and asked if they could confirm if they worked for Midland Police Department or not. They ignored this question, and a few weeks later, one of the secret police goes on to murder Sanders Simpson and kill himself. Many people believe that Chad and Sanders Simpson would be alive today, and their 2 orphan children would have parents if only they had answered this question. Okay, and I have a screenshot. It's not Buddy says he sent message. Here it's dated. Here goes to Mayor Morales. Can you confirm if any of these people were Midland police officers? I sent the pictures of them. Remember they were caught inside my house on camera. I didn't have a police report saying who they were. We didn't even know if they were police because there wasn't no police report given to us, and so they could have just been criminals dressed like police. And this one was wearing a Midland K9 police jacket, and then so about 6 weeks after I sent this message to Morales, he ignored this, and I'm sure he didn't expect that one of these guys would go murder somebody else, but that's exactly what happened. This guy right here, he goes and murders his wife and kills himself. Okay, and you can see this, and you go look that up. I've got many videos on secret police murders his wife. Sanders Simpson is Simpson murder-suicide here in Midland. Police officer murders his wife. Not just a police officer, though, a secret police that was caught on camera in the capital murder attempt on my life. In August 2015, Mayor Morales called me on the phone, and he agreed that we should never have secret police, yet they stayed secret for a couple more years after that. He asked me to send the city attorney email, so I did, along with copying him on it. And here's that email. Keep in mind that Empire Private Investigations didn't get the secret police identified until May of 2018, and the crimes at my home have never stopped, obviously because of the $1 million underground facility and tunnels that multiple people have said was here. Okay. And so, and then I put a copy of the, I took a print screen, and here's the date. It'll focus, August 25th, right? Okay, and here it goes to Midland, Jerry Morales, and then a blind carbon copy, the Texas Rangers, and my attorney on this email. That means the mayor didn't know Texas Rangers getting it, but that really didn't mean anything. I thought I might catch them doing something by blind carbon copy, but that seems like they're all working together. They all cover themselves with the same blanket. That's what I heard before. And so basically I'm telling John Onamiller or whatever, the city attorney, that I spoke with Mayor Morales yesterday. And so there's proof of that. There's phone records and all that stuff. It happened. There's the email. In July 2016, I sent the mayor and other elected officials, including Texas Attorney General Paxton, an email telling them that I was offering a $2,000 reward to anybody that could identify the corrupt secret police. Who we now know worked for him, okay? Because remember on the org chart that the Midland Police Department reports to the mayor and city council. This was the first time in the history of America that has happened, but not a single news story in the nation. It was 2 more years before they were identified by Empire Private Investigations. So once again, remember, it's the first time in the history of America a crime victim offered a reward to identify police that are caught on camera. And remember, they're in my house. I ordered the police report. I even subpoenaed the police reports, and I wasn't given the police report showing who they were. And just recently, we found out that That was because they had falsified the police report and they withheld it in violation of the subpoena. They were, they knew it was, if it ever come out, it would show that they're liars and they were caught on camera in this murder attempt. And so this email called $2,000 reward for information. Okay, and there's the date on it. January 2016. Now look at the people it's sent to. All the mayor and city council and the sheriff and the New York Times, Attorney General, Texas Attorney General Paxton, Inspector General Michael Horowitz, right? I was advised to contact them by Conaway, the Texas Rangers, the world famous Texas Rangers, that at one time they had honor, and integrity. But that's way long time ago. Okay, reward to corrupt police. And I'm offering a $2,000 reward. Okay, remember it was 2 years later before they were identified, and I had to pay, and that's because a private investigator collected the reward. Okay, so all this time, Mayor Morales and everybody knew that there was a reward offered for the secret police. That, come to find out, worked for them. On July 10th, 2018, I sent an email to Mayor and City Council with a link of over 50 videos showing burglar alarms going off in my home, okay? And these come from my YouTube channel, and you can go in there, you do a search on my YouTube channel for burglar alarms, and you'll see they're dated, and you can hear the alarms going off. These are most of the time alarms going off in my attic. Remember, I first reported something in my attic a year before I shot with burglar alarms going in my attic. Now people all over Midland, Odessa, Texas, and across the country reporting people in the attic. I've got police scanner calls recorded where the police are being dispatched to homes where other homeowners are reporting people in the attic, and that's what these 50 videos are. And look at the date here, July 10th, 2018. This is kind of important. So the mayor and the city council, once again, get this email, and Seth Herman, he's the Midland chief of police, that the mayor and city council, that's it, that's who assigned him that job, right? Because the last chief of police quit, I'm sure, over these same crimes. Okay, that was Robinson. And so after years of crimes being committed against me and over 30 fact-filled emails to Mayor Morales, most of the Midland City Council and the chief of police blocked my emails. I kid you not. I was told about a young girl being murdered at a 2010 oil show party, and I believe that that was in the underground facility that multiple people have said was near my home, besides the triple proof showing that somebody under my home shot me by surprise. They have innocent blood on their hands, and the public is being kept in the dark by the press. And I'm going to show you this email here. Here it was. After 30 emails, message blocked to Morales. Now, message blocked to Trost, T-R-O-S-T. Message blocked to Love. These are city council members. Message blocked to Hotchkiss. Okay, message blocked to Robnet. Okay, so and this was actually on the same day. So they got this list of all these videos of these crimes being committed against me, over 50, and that's only just a few. That wasn't all of them, right? And then so they got with their IT person and says, "Stop this! We don't want to see any more proof of these citizens." And you can see what I wrote. Mayor of Midland blocks email from crime victim and citizen. Midland City Council members also block emails. And by the way, the chief of police also blocked my email. So they all got together and they got a solution for little girls being murdered underground, and the homeowners killing one homeowner after the other. And this is their solution to it right here. They blocked the crime victim. They got that figured out. Okay. And so right after Morales won the election for mayor, and this was in 2013, and his son Chase was arrested for drugs, I sent him an email telling him that I was praying for him. Let that sink in. November 9, 2013. Mr. Morales, I read the news articles concerning your son, and I felt led to let you know that I'm praying for you and your family. This is the man that's been covering up the capital crimes against my life, and I'm praying for him. I'm still praying for him, even if he goes to prison for his crimes. Guess who's running for re-election? And guess what? The public has never, ever been shown these facts, right? Because the press is conning and deceiving the voters and the public. They won't show them the evidence. And I'm showing you the evidence. And so you have to actually accidentally run across my Facebook post and to make an informed decision for who's the city leaders Former Stonegate pastor Patrick Payton and Jenny Cudd are also running for mayor. I couldn't find a Facebook for Payton, but I contacted Stonegate Church about the many horrific crimes in Midland, and they've been silent. I did contact Jenny Cudd, who has never replied. This should worry all citizens of Midland, as this murderous crime ring continues to operate in the open, even with irrefutable evidence posted in the public. 3 are now running for Midland mayor. So I contacted Cudd more than once, and she never replied. And I couldn't find any Facebook, link on Payton there or email address, but I'd contact him too, And interesting, the other day there was some vehicles. I did this in another Facebook post that are parked around here, and I've wondered if them vehicles are connected to the people breaking in the house, going underground or whatever. And a friend of mine comes back and told me that one of them vehicles was owned by Roger Case was the name, and I didn't know who that was. I just Googled it, and then when I just happened to run across Roger Case sold his home in Green Tree Country Club out there to Patrick Payton. I thought, ain't that interesting, And this is pastor of the church that I had contacted that church many times about the crimes going on here, which is more than just the maiming, mutilation, and murder attempt on my life. It's the suspected murder of the last homeowner, alleged murder of the last girl. It's people breaking homes all over the place. It's 10,000 felony burglaries at my home, theft of services, and crime after crime after crime. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.